Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is the Friday night arc of our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Production. It is the Omega arc, as I'm calling it for right now, and until I figure out what the title actually is, which we're getting there. But right now, we're back to Story Omega. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. We're going to go around and say hi to everyone and find out who they are and who they are playing. We have a couple of more returning faces this evening that I'm sure some of you will recognize. But this evening we are going to start off with Krimsin. Hello.
Hey y'all, I'm Crimson Galaxy, that's K-R-I-M-S-I-N, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. My pronouns are they, them, she, and they, and today I'm playing Katrina Wales, a homeless musician who was brought into the Mad City through a series of, pretty wild events, honestly. You can find me on Twitter at sin_gal, of course, and that's where you can see me posting about all of the other games I'm in, sometimes getting into the topics of the games I'm in just regular conversation. And yeah, I'm really excited about tonight.
Excellent. And now we are going to head over to Mem. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Why am I so awkward? I'm Mem. My pronouns are she, her. Tonight I'll be Dara Murphy, also she, her. We're a paranoid girl on the go. We're mysterious, but not that mysterious. Because I, as Mem, am not that mysterious. My characters can't be either. I'm excited.
Excellent. And now we shall head over to Hannah. Hello.
Hello, I am Hannah. Animation Art, Animation Studios, whatever. My pronouns are she, her, but tonight I'm going to be playing Luca Bassietti, whose pronouns are he, him. Luca is an artist, and he has been living in the Mad City for about 1.5 years now. He previously encountered another group that came through last year, but ultimately decided to stay in the city to oversee some interesting changes that are underway. So we'll see how that's going.
Yes. I'm sure everything will be just fine.
Just fine. Everything always turns out great.
It does, doesn't it? It does. And finally, we're going to head over to Alyssa. Hello.
Hello, I am your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales, better known on the internet as Shawl Tales. And tonight I'm playing Lila Mendelsohn, the stressed out songstress turned Mad City vigilante, who, as I recall, almost got Luca arrested twice in one night the last time they met, so good luck to us.
I'm sure everything will be just fine. Just fine, yes. Everything will be just fine. Well, whilst we're determining how things are going to be just fine, in the meantime, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. In case you happen to see us using safety tools, this is what we're doing. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or like hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all still good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do things and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, and N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, addiction, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you'd like to see at any time that content warning, and you're watching on Twitch, then go to chat and type !DRYH. That's Don't Rest Your Head CW for content warning, and that will pop up. It's also going to come up regularly because I do have it on rotation. Finally, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, now we must figure out where we are and what we are doing. Last time, we had quite a few things happen. We saw, for that episode, we saw the return of Tyler, who had been working for a company called TK Industries. This company, as it turned out, is being controlled by a group of nightmares, living nightmares, known as the Press Gang. They essentially were trying to muscle him into kidnapping Dara for them. Dara, who is was tending bar at a delightful bar called the Top Hat. Yes, the Top Hat. It was called the Top Hat. It was hat night. We all wore hats. At that same bar that evening, Katrina was there playing a concert for them. Katrina there with her band Aesthetic Praxis, very recently formed, basically recognized Tyler. Tyler was then talking to someone he knew from work, who, as it turns out, has a bit more of a story going on, as a little bit of a recent history with Tyler, has been trying to kind of get him introduced to a particular society that he was trying to get some information from her about. There wasn't a lot of time, however, because she warned that a number of minions of the Press Gang were hanging around outside the bar. Faceless minions. Press Gang workers, as they're called. People without faces who look like they're sort of in Victorian clothing. And Tyler had been called previously by a member of the Press Gang about this, telling him, go bring out Dara within the next half hour, or we're coming in. So they were talking about this when Katrina finished her set, came forward, heard Tyler talking about grabbing someone and taking them up to the top floor of a building, objected vehemently. The person Tyler was talking to, Allie, also was not completely sure as to what Tyler's intentions were going to be, and as a result, went and got Dara and said, went to Dara, said, we have to leave now. You're in mortal danger. Don't know exactly what's happening, but we don't have time. And so they bolted out the back, Dara and Allie. Katrina and Tyler took off after them. Katrina tripped Tyler to get him out of the way at this point, and continued running with Allie behind, who lagged behind for a moment just to see what was going on after Tyler had called out to her. Dara made it up being chased by faceless beings to this to the metro, the city's metro. We are in a city not unlike Chicago. We are in fact calling it Chicago, but it is legally distinct from Chicago. Ran up the steps to a metro monorail. I will confess I'm not sure if it's actually a monorail, because I remember there being tracks underneath, but that doesn't preclude it from being a monorail necessarily. But it's up in the air. That's the point. So they up there. Katrina and Dara and Allie ended up just sort of getting into a conflict with these with these members of this press gang, along with this other individual who was basically with a face, but who was also working for the press gang, who was kind of there trying to grab Dara, and they were able to get them to a bit of a standstill. A train showed up. Allie told Katrina to take Dara and go ahead. That she'll try and catch up at some point, because she had this hand crossbow out pointed at them and keeping them at bay for the time being. Also, some mysterious things about Allie. She seems to be able to move very quickly. Not to run very quickly, but to move very quickly. Katrina and Dara got on the train and took off. Meanwhile, Tyler went back to TK Industries to try to talk his way into to find out about this private doorway into the Mad City they apparently had. And went up there, talked to them, and they were like, all right, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either walk away and get some sleep, or you can come with us and face the emptiness. And he chose to go with them and face the emptiness. And that was the last we saw of him. We don't know what became of Tyler, or if we'll ever see him again. Maybe we shall one day. We don't know. But what we do know now is that Katrina and Dara have sped away on this train, and Katrina has received a call from an entity, another nightmare, called the Broadcast. The Broadcast has told Katrina he's going to send someone along presently. Try to help out just a bit. As apparently they've got a situation on their hands. So let me find something semi-appropriate. We'll go with this for now. The old standard. Now I must move the camera. We're still in the city slumbering for right now. I need to find some things out. So I'm going to, we're going to move the camera over to Lila for just a wee bit, so that we might know some things that have been happening. It's been about 3 or 4 months. It is late winter, early spring, sort of in that zone. And I would like to know a few things. First off, what have you been doing the last few months?
Let's see. Well, therapy is expensive, so Lila's been making music.
Fair. So where has Lila been making this music, I wonder? Has Lila been traveling? Where has Lila ended up at this point?
Well, last we saw her, she was in Chicago. Maybe she's still in Chicago. Maybe she has like a cousin or a sister or something in the area.
If you like, we can absolutely do that. I will point out, you don't have to be in Chicago. We have ways. But if you would like to be in Chicago, you absolutely can be.
I don't actually remember where Lila is from.
Neither do I, really.
Because she's been all over the place.
There was a project going on. It's been a few years since that campaign, and I don't know if we specified
yes,
points of origin for that.
No, I don't remember if we specified where that was happening. And she's not actually from New Jersey, though she spent some time there doing conventions in the middle of nowhere. And somewhere in an alternate universe, she has a job in Minneapolis, so...
That's fair. That's very fair.
She's probably somewhere in the Midwest.
So, Lila has been, you say, doing gigs? Have you tried to get any more like...
Probably playing gigs, doing streams, you know, fulfilling Patreon content.
That's fair. Yes.
Putting out singles.
How successful has Lila been?
Probably not wildly so, but, you know, successful enough that she goes to convention as a guest.
So I assume you have not... caved in and signed any contracts, important contracts of late.
No, probably not.
Okay,
yet.
all right, just checking. One has to check these things. One must know. One must know if a contract is happening.
Indeed.
But that's perfectly fair. That's perfectly fair. Wait, I've got a thing ready. I'm going to take us over to it. There we are. Hi. Yes. Okay. So.
Hello.
There is so much chaotic rubber banding of things together behind the scenes. I'm just going to say that right now. But I digress. Anyhow, so you've been basically trying to scrape by on Patreon and what have you. You have not caved in necessarily. Have you communicated at all with any been communicating with anyone about either in or about the Mad City within the last few months?
Yeah, she's been keeping in touch with Dawson. And, you know, she may have texted the broadcast back.
Really?
One night when she was sleep deprived.
Really? Interesting. Did you try to, what was the nature of this conversation? I'm just curious.
Oh, you know, probably something along the lines of, how do I know I'm not being catfished?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell.
Prove you're not a robot.
Oh, that's fair. It's one of those odd things where the broadcast will be happy to to try to the broadcast will occasionally will still be like sort of sending offers every now and then, but it's a bit of an odd thing. I think something that we'll want to ask now. Has there been anything in particular that's been keeping you awake? There is this sort of the sleep issue for the last few months.
Yes. Well, I mean, she did watch some people just get straight up murdered by some pit
That's
fighters.
true.
So there might be some actual nightmares.
That's very fair.
She probably tries to sleep during the day since most of her work happens at night. So there's also that whole, her sleep schedule has not been the same since 4 years ago.
Has anything happened recently that has caused things to kick up into a higher octave of weird?
weirder than usual? That's a good question.
Anything that gives you that feeling, oh crap, things are starting again. Anything like that. Has there been? There doesn't have to have been, but I just need to know.
I mean, if there hasn't been, I have a feeling there's about to
I
be.
have that feeling as well. Okay. So. Where would you like to be on around 10 o'clock at night?
Around 10 o'clock at night, she's probably... either on some kind of stream or like at some venue for a performance of some kind.
Okay. Which would you prefer? We can do this either way, really. You said you had a... sorry, go ahead.
I don't know. I guess she's probably streaming.
Okay. So you said you had a relative here, is that right? Is that whose
Yes.
whose place you're streaming from? Okay.
Yeah.
What did you say? It was a cousin or a sibling or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a cousin who's also a musician who has some, fancy recordings set up. So we're doing it.
Oh, are you? Okay. Excellent. Would you like to name your cousin?
I could name my cousin.
Is that literally their name? Cousin? Yeah.
No.
Cousins. That's their name.
Let's say
Okay.
Parker.
Is Parker also a Mendelssohn, or is Parker something else? You don't have to give me a last name. But...
just for ease of remembrance, we'll say Parker
Okay.
Mendelssohn.
That's absolutely fine. I have forgotten how to spell Mendelssohn. And I need to listen to more string quartets.
Right.
But what are Parker's pronouns?
He,
Okay.
him.
What instrument does Parker play?
Anything with strings.
Plays anything with strings. Okay.
Yes. Most often the mandolin.
Okay. Milo also does guitaromancy, is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
Did you leave your guitar in the Mad City?
It's a good question.
I seem to remember something about that. There was
I
like
feel like I lost track.
you
of
might
it
have left it
some
on
point.
at See the Stars, possibly. Okay.
Possibly.
Fair point. All right, so you have acquired another one, possibly one way or the other. Perhaps it is used. I don't know. It's only been 3 or 4 months, and You were playing this. Can you remind me of the genre?
It's kind of a like folk rock, I think.
Okay, and so acoustic or electric?
Mm-hmm. Typically
Okay.
acoustic.
So you're playing folk rock songs, and you know, people are seem to be watching. They seem to be decent. And you're doing fairly well. You seem to be getting a slightly. Your views have ticked up just a bit this evening, which is pretty good. And someone and you can kind of see the there's a chat stream that you're watching on the service that you're streaming to, and you're gonna note a few things. You're gonna note there's a point in the stream where some folks have been commenting and, you know, just general like, it's really cool stuff, you know, that kind of thing. But it's during one of those quieter periods in between those, you know, bouts of conversation. When you see someone with the handle Insomniac97.
Okay.
Who will... It is possible you have seen this handle before. I'm not completely sure. I can no longer remember what game in which it appeared. But, you see this pop up. And it says... Things are in motion. Might want to watch your heads tonight. That's the first warning you receive. The next warning you receive comes around 10 o'clock. One of the monitors that you're looking at. How big a setup does your cousin have? Here, how many monitors does your cousin have?
Probably like 3.
Okay. So, I need to ask you another question.
Yes.
How well does Parker sleep, generally?
Good question. I suppose, considering the fact that Parker plays with a bunch of folk bands and does all kinds of music stuff, like, independently, probably not much better than me.
Okay. Might be some inkling. I don't know.
Depends on the day.
You hear static through your headphones for just a moment. It's not a sudden burst, it sort of creeps in. And when the clock strikes 10, you hear it. And looking at one of the monitors, I actually need to ask one more question, real quick. But you see static cover one of the monitors, and you see a figure starting to appear in the static. The question I need to ask you is, what part of town does Parker live in? Is it like inside? Is it like inside the loop, or is it like isn't it sort of more the interior, higher, taller buildings part of the city, or is it more closer to the outskirts, or what are we looking at?
I think a little closer to the outskirts,
okay.
Probably.
All right. So, you see an image appearing in the static of someone moving back and forth, kind of like this. And you don't actually, it's not like a head-on shot of them, right? It's as though it's from kind of like, street cameras. Going down different alleys and sidewalks, you think possibly. You're moving pretty quickly, and it sort of is able to pull out a little bit. The static clears a bit, and you can see it's fairly dark, so you can't make it all out, but it looks like someone on roller skates.
Okay.
And the more it resolves, you start to see this person again in and out of the shadows. Occasionally you get a little glimpse of steel, perhaps, on their person, on their hands. One of their hands looks weird. The one that's further out of the shadows, you can't tell, but it's this bigger shape. And you realize...
Do I feel like I've seen this thing before?
And this, in fact, is your...
Well,
this is, they're in Parker's neighborhood, you realize. You are mid-song. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna hit that button that goes, oops, the broadcast has ended, and I'm gonna type technical difficulties.
Parker just kind of looks over and he's like, oh, what the hell happened? What's up?
I don't feel so great right now.
That sucks. You were killing it. You want to?
Yeah.
Can I get you something? You want to? You want an aspirin or anything?
Yeah, and maybe a Coke.
Yeah, sure. I've got plenty of coffee around here. Yeah, sure. Give me a sec. He sets down his instrument, which I've immediately forgotten what it was. His mandolin. He sets down his mandolin, and he goes into the kitchen. You can hear the necessary noises happening. You see that monitor is still showing this rail rider. It's a rail rider. It's got to be a rail rider. Is turning onto is turning onto your block. Slowing. It's doing that thing where they stand up and sort of coasting forward. Just kind of looking around, looking back and forth. Looking up at the buildings, looking at the windows. Are you doing anything, or are you just waiting for the coffee?
I am going to kind of like, I think I'm going to go discreetly try to check the windows.
You're heading up to the windows.
And then, I don't know. I think I might try to somehow draw the attention away from Parker's.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see how soon they're going to spot you before... First off, we're checking the window. Let me look again at... What did I set their pain at? Let's see. Depends on how big they are. Big. There's only one of them. Pain of 4. As you're looking out and trying to estimate how much time you have and trying to deal. You let me know if you're using anything.
Throw a couple of madness dice on there.
Why not? As a treat. Okay, you have 1 success. I have no successes. And it looks like, actually, discipline is... Well, no, pain is dominating. Pain's dominating. Yay. I get more despair. Excellent. So, you look out, and you see this being. Looks very similar. It's not the same one, but it looks similar to the one that you saw performing the beheading outside the Wax King's castle.
Cool.
This one you can tell briefly when they pass briefly under streetlight. They have one hand actually looks like a gloved hand. The other hand looks like an axe head. And they are looking up at the windows, and they are sort of coasting past the front of the building, where they're slowing down and they're looking. You think they're starting to zero in on your building, but you do manage to duck down before they see you. You actually did pretty well, but there's also pain. Yes, sure, let's do this now. Your phone's ringing.
What's up, Danger?
How did you know it was me? You wanted something a little more proof positive. It's good to take precautions, I suppose. But I assume you've got a bit of a situation.
Sure do.
Interesting. You know, I know a way that you could get out of there really fast.
Okay, I'll bite.
Oh, it's very simple. It's actually down the hall outside and in the stairwell. But that's one way. But yeah. There's someone I think I'd like you to meet. If you're interested, someone also very talented, kind of in a similar business. Potential client.
Sure.
If you'd be interested. They've also got a bit of a pickle at present, I would say. People aren't saying that anymore.
That thing's not gonna come after my cousin if I leave, is it?
Well, if he's well rested, no. Won't even notice him. Did he notice my warning? If he didn't, then he's probably fine.
He seemed a little surprised when I cut the string. So
If not, you can always bring him along if you like. It's entirely up to you. But I mean, I am not omniscient, so I couldn't say. I don't know what your cousin's consciousness level is at present. I can only say what I can see.
Right.
And to be perfectly frank, with the web cameras that he has, a little hard to tell. Might want him to
Fair
upgrade.
enough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We'll get right on that. That's a future us problem.
There. So, you realize, so, yeah, well, we've got some things we need to talk about, but you probably don't have time right now. So I would recommend you get going.
Yeah, we'll talk later.
Well, do you want the, oh yes. If you take the shortcut, then... Well, this is going to be slightly tricky to explain, but the form that things will be showing up in, you will probably... I don't know, I can't predict exactly where, but you should only have to turn twice and find another door that leads you exactly to where it is that I would like you to meet this individual. Should be 2 turns,
Okay.
probably 2 right turns. Might also be a right. It could be a right and a left, but the first turn will definitely be a right after you go through that door.
We'll figure it out.
I haven't had... it's deucedly difficult to get cameras in there. Right. Look forward to chatting with you. And all ends. What would you like to do?
Hey, Parker.
Yeah. He says,
I'm gonna step out and get
okay,
some
yeah,
air.
coffee should be ready in another couple minutes.
Great. Listen,
Hmm?
if I'm not back in the next hour, try to get some sleep. Don't wait up.
Oh, it's going to be one of those nights, huh? You know, if you got more sleep, then, might be easier for you to kind of latch on to things. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to start that argument again. Okay. All right. Do what you gotta.
I know.
He shakes his head. I'll leave a thermos on the counter for you.
Call me if you need anything.
I'm always good. All right, but yeah. And he retreats back into the kitchen. What would you like? You go to the hall. I should point out, once you make it into the hall, I am going to assume this is an apartment, an internal apartment. And
Yeah, that was my thought.
the elevator is at the end of the hallway. The other end of the hallway is the stairwell. And you do note that the elevator appears to be approaching. You think it's got, the uplights on, in other words. Someone's coming up. Are you turning toward the stairwell? Or are you doing something else?
I'm gonna start going toward the stairwell, but I'm gonna kind of keep an eye out over my shoulder just in case it is the rail rider, because I would rather it chase me than go after my cousin, just in
Understood.
case.
So you're heading toward the stairwell. You hear the elevator doors open. And stand by. You hear the elevator doors open. And you look and you see it is the little lady who lives in the apartment just a little bit of a ways from you. She is walking her dog. It's a very small dog. You turn back toward the door. You go into the stairwell. When you open the door, you hear a clattering from above. And on the next flight, you see bursting out into the stairwell, just one level above you, and rolling in, is this jacketed axe-wielding figure. He's pretty big. He's got long, dark hair. He's got, again, metal studs all over his body. His left arm is mechanical. And you see him launch forward, and he's like, "Ah!" as he's grabbing the banister and preparing to hurl himself toward you. You see, at the far end, on this level of the stairwell, you see a door that should not be there. It's a wooden door with an eye painted on it. And it's in the wall that should be the exterior wall of the building.
I'm gonna make a break for the door.
All right. You dive for the door. This thing is hurtling itself down the stairs toward you. It
Yeah, good luck on those stairs, roller skates.
It's going to be interesting to see how he does it. But I need you to
Have fun with that, Zach.
make a this is again a pain of 4.
I'm gonna hope that I had enough coffee and hype before/during the stream to vibrate a little faster and give myself an extra boost to outrun that thing.
Ah. All right. So you're going to you're using your madness talent? Okay.
Yes.
So you're trying to use your madness talent again to increase your speed through vibrokinesis.
Up the tempo.
through not what was it? Was it vibrokinesis? Was that what it was called?
It's vibrokinesis.
All right.
Yes.
So I would say that again, this is a very specific use of your power. It's a little weird. I'm going to say you're going to need at least to roll at least 3 madness as part of this.
Okay. I'm good with it.
All right. Oh, you got 4 successes. I got 3 successes, so you beat me by 1. Let me see here. Just need to check up on something. There we go. All right. So, let's see. What do we have? Do we have anything dominating? Madness is dominating. It has the highest number in it. So please check off a response.
I guess I'm running.
Checking off flight?
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay. You race. Is the tuning fork out? What does this look like?
Pull it out. I bang it on the railing.
Excellent.
And I run.
So it sets off this vibration that speeds you forward. This thing, he is basically, he was trying to be cool, going down the stairs. He was leaping over steps and down to the mini landing and coming around, sort of careening. He's using the banister to sort of slide toward you. But you dash forward, and you burst through that door. And you find that you are as you dash through, you are in a place you have never been before. It's kind of odd, a bit dingy. It has these gray stone walls and a wooden floor underneath you. And a white ceiling where the plaster is falling down from it. It's kind of old and decrepit. There's dust on the floor. The occasional light comes from these... it's actually, as you enter, it is dark. And you see this when a light comes on in a sconce. It just comes on like by itself. Just a bit of ways from you, down and about the middle of this hall, that you see it goes down a little ways and turns right.
Okay.
You are racing down this hall, presumably. This thing is trying to move. It's trying to come through the door and come after you. You turn to the right, you lose sight of it. Up ahead, there is a T intersection. You can go that allows you to go left or right. Are you going to... How do you approach this intersection?
Do I see or hear anything one way or the other? My first instinct is probably to go to the right first.
You hear the rail rider far behind you. That's the only thing you can really hear right now. But you do hear that it's... As you get closer, you do hear some kind of, it's breathing. You hear someone breathing as you get closer to this intersection. Now, as you come up to this intersection, you see there's a way to go to the left, and the hallway sort of turns and starts twisting a little bit. But to the right, the hall goes down just a little ways and ends in a metal door. Seated in front of this metal door is, you see, a being. Its head is, it's pretty big and bulky. It looks roughly humanoid, do you think? But its head is covered with a cloth. It's draped in cloths, these sort of gray and brown cloths. And it's sitting sort of squatting in front of the door.
Mind if I just sneak past you real quick?
It looks up, and you see that it's got strange sort of, got a very sort of thick features, thick head, and, it's got sort of this gray skin. Its eyes are the sort of milky. It's looking through you as it looks up at this creature as it's sort of rearing its like, whose mind passes through.
Who wants to know?
What is running?
Besides me?
Should someone be beside you?
I don't think so.
So you do not think? You hear this? You hear the rail rider coming. And you see the creature also hears it, and it raises up this big meaty hand. He's only got like 3 fingers. And he says, "A quandary, if you please."
Will you let me past?
That cannot be the quandary, if you wish to pass.
Why do hot dogs come in packages of 10 and hot dog buns come in packages of just 8?
I need to assign this creature a pain rating. We're going to we're gonna give this creature a, at present, given that it understands the situation, the pain rating will be 3. And so that's currently where we are with this. Alright. I have a pain of 3. I had 2 successes. You had only 1 success. Let's see what's dominating. Discipline actually is dominating. So if you wish, you may remove that checked response.
Okay.
As usually, your adrenaline is rushing, and you're like, "Oh God, I've got to answer a freaking riddle." But unfortunately, what that also though means is that I get to enact a. I won the roll though. Hang on, I get to enact the roll. So this means yes.
Yeah. Fun time.
So let's see. Actually, you didn't roll any exhaustion or madness.
I did not.
Well. All right. That means I have to enact a story penalty. So, but yeah. Let's also just check. So discipline is dominating the situation. It's like, it sort of shakes its head, and it will What does this quandary look like when you hand it to him?
It looks like
Is it a hot dog?
it might be.
No, what is it? What is it?
I was gonna say it looks like a DVD copy of the movie Bulletproof
Okay.
Monk.
Like, he turns out, it's like, sort of shrugs, and he's like, looks up. No. Mayhap this shall confuse him. He just sort of gestures behind as the door opens.
I go in.
The rail rider is sort of barreling around the corner trying to get past this thing. You sneak past, and it starts standing up. The creature behind you starts standing up. I don't know if you're going to bother long enough to watch him stand up, but the rail rider is going to be having a conversation with this creature for a moment. You're going to burst through the door, and now there are more of us here. So, Katrina and Dara. You have been riding on this train for not very long. Is there anything you wish to do before you get to the next station?
I think I'm just keeping my eyes open and making sure nothing is sneaking up on us and just like paying attention to the surroundings. And if Dara has any questions for Katrina, she will be answering them. Just putting it out there.
Based on the answers we got last time I had questions, Dara's gonna wait and just...
All right.
I don't know what you mean. I did a good job.
You did a great job. A great job. And Dara's gonna just let someone else do a not nearly as great job.
I'm sure it's fine.
I see. Why settle for the best when you can have mediocrity?
That's right.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So, are you planning to get off at the next station, or are you planning to stay on the train?
I think it depends for me, just because based off of that phone call I got, they said that they were going to be sending someone to meet us, but they didn't say where, and they didn't say anything else about it. So it depends on whether or not I see someone that seems like they're awake or not. And even still at that moment, it's like I need to wait to see recognition in someone's eyes. If I don't see that, I'm not getting off.
Okay. So, what you're going to see when you get to the next platform, you don't see, there are a few people. No one, you folks, I'm imagining you're on a train that's on a car. The train car that you're on, is it, would you say closer to the front, closer to the back, closer to the middle?
the front.
Okay. You think you ran all the way up to the front when you were getting chased?
I think we weren't that far from the stairs coming up, so wouldn't that be closer toward the end where the front would be? Unless it was going the opposite direction. Oh.
Yeah, that's my question.
You were on...
What side did it fall?
You were on the outside rail. We'd established that. So it just sort of means... Let's see.
Did we get on the clockwise?
You got on the clockwise side, basically. Yeah, the outside counterclockwise. Which means that you were heading kind of north-ish to hop onto this train. And so,
we headed north to get to it. And
it's also heading north.
Back.
Is what I'm saying. So what that's going to mean, I mean, it depends on the configuration of the whole thing, right? But if you're coming up to this station, it's not a huge platform. So, but you got on from the right-hand side of the train, is what I'm sort of saying here, as it turns out. So...
Yeah, that would be like the front, then,
yeah, it could be the front.
Building the map of it in my head.
You could have made it to the front of the train, if you had wished. So you're closer to the front. Maybe you're not in the exact front car, but you're in like the next to the front car. So not the immediate front car. So some people are kind of getting on and off the train. Some people get off of this car. Some people get onto some of the other cars you see. And you don't see any recognition as you're sort of looking out the doorway or looking out the window. But what you will see is, as the train is standing still for a moment, the doors are gonna be open for a minute. There's this sort of oddly shaped sort of metal door with like rings on it. On the opposite wall, it bursts open, and you see someone dashing out of it.
I think that might be our way.
What does, remind us, what does Lila look like?
Lila is about 5'3", 5'4", curly brown hair, dark eyes, probably wearing an oversized sweater and leggings. She's got her tuning fork clutched in her hand and currently looking.
Yeah, Lila, you've just burst out onto a subway platform. The door behind you is still ajar. You can hear an argument happening between the rail rider and the monkish creature. But ahead of you, there's a train. You think, yeah, this is the Chicago Metro. You're still in Chicago. You've been here.
Okay.
A lot recently.
Okay, cool.
And what I'm wondering is, so Katrina, Dara, how are you reacting to this person bursting out of this doorway?
I immediately say to Dara, I think that might be the person. I think we should go over to meet them. It's entirely up to you, but I am worried about your safety, especially with what was just going on. And again, your decision entirely, but I think this is the way to go.
Dara just nods. We don't really have any questions. We're not gonna say anything. No idea what's happening.
All right. I get off and start making my way towards Lila.
So, Lila, you see these two people get off the train, and they're immediately just as if to head toward you. So, and again, can we get descriptions of Katrina and Dara once more, please?
Sure. Katrina is like a 5'9", visibly trans woman, punk jacket, patched up and stuff. Literally just looks like a hot trans girl punk, and has a guitar slung over her shoulders. She's got the backpack straps, so she's like literally just like holding onto the straps and walking up like, yeah. Colorful hair though. She has dyed hair and it's super colorful.
And Mem, what does Dara look like?
Dara is also on the taller end of things, 5'9", mixed girl, early 20s, big curly hair, wearing all black. You know, just black jeans, black t-shirt. Left the hat behind.
It's all right. It'll be fine. I'm sure everything will be fine.
That hat
will be fine. So, there's an important note I need to make. Lila, you see these two individuals stepping out of the platform and just sort of starting to head toward you. Whilst the train is standing there. You wish to react to this?
I know I'm supposed to be meeting someone, and
He did sort of hint that you were supposed to,
like
there was someone he wanted you to meet.
a musician. So it could be a coincidence.
Well, yeah, as you're pondering this, you hear from behind you this sort of like, it's capitalism. The answer is capitalism, damn you. and
Push the door shut.
The door does not close. You swish the door shut, and this axe handle comes out, ting, against it. And it looks as though something's coming through. Yeah, you see, she just tried to slam this door shut, and you see this axe handle coming out from the door.
All right. Hey, you all right? Do we need to move?
Yeah.
Just as a way to hint, have you heard any broadcasts lately?
Oh yeah.
Cool. I heard a broadcast say that I'm supposed to be meeting someone, so maybe we get away from this door where that's trying to get out.
We should go.
Yeah.
So, where are you heading?
Should we try to jump back on the train before it takes off? That way it can be taking off before we, before that gets to us, maybe?
I'm not sure how I feel about trains, but anywhere but here.
All right, let's...
You hear that 5-second sound that the doors are going to close.
Let's go.
Three of you dive onto this train. The door is smashed open behind Lila as the train starts rolling forward. As you're looking back, you see this monstrosity on wheels comes jumping out through this door, looking around as the train is moving. And as the train is pulling out, you see that it's racing rolling toward this train. And you hear from a car somewhere far behind you, you hear a thunk of some kind as the train shakes just a little bit. And I would like to do a quick cut from here, because I would like to catch up with Luca. Let's see, where shall I go with this one? Sure. Hi.
Buongiorno.
So it's been a few months as you've been working in the Mad City. Let me actually correct the, let me make sure I've put in the correct, I haven't yet, let me do that. Let me put in the correct, make sure I've swapped out the overlay properly, because this I had ready. Alright. There we go. So, it's been a few months. What have you been up to?
Mostly I've been working under the Professore, trying to do improvements on the Mad City in his education district. He is wanting an art program, or at the very least art display for the education district for, I'm not sure. Whatever he say, I do.
So, there's an interesting question that I have for you. He'll have talked to you a little bit. There are some tricks he can try to offer to help with the being awake, being asleep issue. There are a couple of ways to tackle it. You can't be awake with a capital A, even in the Mad City, for too long a period without suffering some serious side effects. So your options involve the way you did it the first time was you retreated into becoming a local for a while.
Right, I still am a local. I never left the Mad City, so still I am a local of the Mad City, just a little more, maybe a little more aware of things going on. Could have lapsed back into being less aware of certain things, but...
That is one way to do it, is sort of ride the edge, where it's like you sort of let yourself forget things about the city slumbering for a while, and then, but you can do things to arrange to be reminded. And the professor is happy to help you with that if you want to do it that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Leave like notes around.
Yeah. The other way is, of course, the other knife's edge that he hopes you never actually have to approach, which is, going between being awake and a nightmare. But he doesn't suggest that at all. The third way is to actually try to get some sleep every now and then. But that in itself comes with its own dangers. It just sort of helps if you have people guarding you, if you ever try to do that, especially in the Mad City. Not impossible, but doable. Is there any particular thing, any particular project you've been working on lately?
Most recently, I was contacted by the Strega dell'Ombra, and she asked me to paint a portrait of someone in particular who is, I am not familiar with this person, but she is wanting me to paint from description, and every time I make the painting, she gives me a little, tweak of this or tweak of that, until finally it is the portrait that she was looking for. I have no idea who this person is, but if it's important to her, listen, I work on commission. we artists cannot argue with what we are given. So she seemed happy with this. She said this is a person to look out for. I say, okay, I look out for them. And in the meantime, I use this painting for maybe part of my gallery. She said that was fine. So I have this interesting person that I have never met, but apparently looks like this. He's now part of my gallery and is also in various places around the city. So, not sure significance, but
yeah. No, it's she's actually very happy with the portrait. Eventually, the final one that you show her. She's pleased with it. And she is she pays you. I'm just trying to figure out what she pays you in. If it's if she's what kind of currency she wants to give you for this.
I don't. I feel she does not deal in
She does
wax
not.
coins. This feels like not her. No. So, what else can I use to buy? You know, groceries.
Yeah, it's
As
fair.
they say. Food, which I need to.
That is true. That is true. So, in part, I mean, she offers to. She'll offer to. I mean, the first thing she'll offer are going to be more ephemeral things, but if you kind of sort of insist that you need things that you can get money, you know, you can money you can buy food with, then she'll and she will also her second offer before she will have there are multiple offers. The first is insight. The second is she will offer to bake something for you. And it depends on if you turn that down or not as to whether or not she offers you something else.
I mean, food is food, right? I mean, if she pay me, I would just turn around and buy food for it. So if she make me food for exchange for art, that works for me. I don't know about insight. It feels like one step forward from exposure.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that doesn't. That I don't.
It's understandable.
Think, no.
It's understandable. So yes, she will. She will. She's actually. So she's going to leave you this basket of bread.
Okay.
And
I love bread. It's good.
because she realizes that you probably do not want the. She can get the. She leaves you a basket of bread and a basket of apples. And the bread and the apples are clearly not directly from the Shadow District because they look like bread and apples. They're not blackened. So it clearly not sourced from the sort of things that grow in the Shadow District. But let's see. There is this. There is a tendency for the. Oh my god. Do you try any of these things? I'm just curious. Do you try to eat any of these things? Okay.
Sure.
All right, just checking. So.
I have clearly not watched Snow White
No,
in a
not
very
at
long
all.
time, so I am perfectly trusting taking apples from skinny
Yeah,
old
no,
women.
I'm sure it's fine. So the bread gives a kind of a sense of, like, as you sort of are eating it, it's this, this sort of feeling as of someone sitting at a breakfast table reading a newspaper. You get that feeling that accompanies the eating of the bread. And sometimes it's good news, sometimes it's bad news. Sometimes it's stuff that hasn't happened yet, a little bit. Or maybe isn't going to happen. If it's the nightly revealer, then it's stuff that the paper boys are hoping are going to happen. But it depends. The newspaper varies. The apples taste very good. I need to stress this. The apples taste very good. There is a tiny bit of, there's a little bit of a sound when you bite into them.
Apple sound, I'm hoping.
Yeah, it does have that. There is that sound. Yes. That is one of the sounds that is made when you bite into these apples. And occasionally, there's this very low... It's very quiet. It might not actually even be coming from the apple itself. But there's this minor side effect when you bite into the apple that you can kind of... It's like very distantly, very softly hear this kind of low, not very energetic wailing. Occasionally, when you bite into this apple, it's sort of like... just a little bit. Just a little bit. It usually stops after the, like, second or third bite, typically. That's it. That's the only side effect that these apples have. And not all of them do it. It's just, you know, every now and then. Yeah.
Okay.
They seem like perfectly normal apples otherwise.
Perfectly normal, save for the screams of misery that
Yeah,
come
every
out
now and then,
sometimes,
yeah.
right?
They're really good.
Oh, that more
Yeah,
than makes
I'm
up
sure
for it then.
Oh my god. So important. So, when you, there's going to be a point, is it, have you had any other interactions with any particular nightmares lately that was either particularly, disturbing or particularly, notable, in one of your awake periods lately?
I feel since last time, I have perhaps been trying to be a little more wary, maybe a little more avoidant of my amico De Vernici. He is still benevolent. I still appreciate all of his help that he's giving me, but there is something a little too close of a call, a little too familiar, getting a little too friendly with him, you know. I am just trying to put a little bit of distance between us, you know, for safety's sake. But we are still working together.
Okay. One day, I can't say one morning, you're
completely useless.
You're going to, well, I mean, there's a very specific thing it tells you.
It's true.
You're going to receive a note from the professor. And occasionally you get these things, as sometimes he can tell the future a little bit. Not incredibly well. He can predict. He doesn't actually see the future. But he has as we established previously, a mathematical algorithm. and it says, and the note says, someone you know is going to be arriving today. You are probably going to run into them.
Okay. I have lived here for a year and a half. I know many people. I have many friends.
That's
This
fair.
is not helpful.
The note goes on, and it says they'll be arriving. Someone arriving from the city slumbering.
Oh. Nice.
There is recent activity with the labyrinth suggests that one of them is soon or will have already been within its walls.
A return visitor to the Mad City.
What the note seems to imply, yes. And
So I should just wait here, or I go and find them, or I go about my day and I will run into them by complete coincidence?
could be any of those, really. This is a note that you received from him, so it's, it does occur to you if, you can, because let me ask, are you still living in that church in the Penitence District? Okay.
See? Yeah.
So it sort of depends. It's one of those things where, like, if you want help figuring it, figuring out finding it, you can always ask if you want, to try to get more information out of the professor or something, or rather, I should say, if you want help trying to pinpoint it, he can lend you, someone to look around. He can lend you a couple of irregulars if you need that. But yeah.
No. I want it to be a
that's
pleasant
perfectly fine.
surprise.
But yeah, the only thing the note really suggests is that the labyrinth has been active. So that just depends on what it communicates, really, and it doesn't communicate well from what you understand. So you're pretty much just going to we're going the pleasant surprise route, so you're just going to just go about your day and continue. Yeah. What do you have that you need to do today?
I'm not sure. What has the professor got in store for me today?
Well, let's see. I think classes have been starting in the new wing, in the new art education gallery. A lot of things have been focusing on that. But I can also, let's see. There is a he's got some folks going around, like, putting up banners. If you want to, so you have a couple of options. You can either work on a commission, or you could help with, or you could do something if you want to help out at the gallery. If you want to provide, he does not expect you to try to help teach if you do not wish to, but you're always welcome to help out with the students if you wish. So
Okay.
it's probably going to be either help paint another thing, or it's going to be help out with students.
I think I will help out with the students today.
So you are on your way to the re-education district, and now that I know your path from penitence to re-education, quick question. Actually, I do need to ask this. How do you usually get there? Do you usually just walk, or do you take this a conveyance of some kind, or
No, I walk. I get to see more people if I walk.
Are you just going to go across the clock tower district to get there, or are you just sort of direct line? Okay.
Yep.
All right. That tells me your path. And now that I know your path, we will be able... I just want to figure out one more thing, because we actually need to take a break real quick. But before we go to break, I need to ask... of the three people who are now on the train, as it has been pulling away, and you've been hearing something happened of some sort of thud a few cars back. I need to know what is happening between this station and the next. I assume there is conversation of some kind happening. Let's see. Yeah, that'll be easiest. What do we have happening? The train pulls out of the station, and you can see again you're high above the city, you're amongst the skyscrapers. The train is moving around toward the next station. What are you all doing?
Okay, this is Dara. She is new. I'm really bad at explaining all of this stuff, and I can't really figure out how to do it without just sounding like someone who needs serious help. If you can help explain exactly what's going on for a newly awakened person, that would be great.
Hi. I'm Lila.
Nice to meet you. Sorry that I jumped right into it. I'm Katrina.
Nice to meet you. Wish it was under better circumstances, but I rarely meet people any other way these days.
I mean, I'm going back to the city, hopefully. What could be a better circumstance than that?
Not being chased by...
Yeah.
that.
There. And I imagine you're feeling pretty shaken up, eh, Dara?
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we were actually getting chased down by an entire gang of faceless that were working for the Newsies gang, and I think they were trying to get a hold of Dara here for some reason. I don't know why, but newly awakened person, something tells me that, like, she's got some kind of power or something that they want to control.
That's sounds about right.
Sorry for talking about you like you're not here.
I wouldn't know where to start.
Stab in the dark here and say you haven't been sleeping lately?
I haven't.
Just a wild guess.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Starting to see things?
I guess so.
Yeah. So basically we've been awake so long that we can see into another dimension. Sounds real sci-fi, I know. But that's the way I can sum it up. We can see them. They can see us.
How do I make it stop?
Sleep.
Yeah, you could go to sleep. And if you can't sleep, it doesn't stop.
Oh, of course it doesn't.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to the city, though. I'm telling you, like, yeah, it's full of nightmares and it seems kind of wild, but it feels real. It feels way more real than here, where everyone's always putting on fake smiles and telling sweet lies. People are just who they are over there. And yeah, some of those people are super fucked up, but if you operate on a basis of like, be suspicious of everyone and let people prove to you that they're actually trying to help, then you'll be fine over there.
I live every day.
Same.
There is a shudder from the train car behind you.
I look.
You look. And down you see sort of the doors. There's like a window in the door and a window in the door of the next car. As the train behind you sort of shakes a little bit, you're starting to come into a turn, so you can see sort of more one side of that car. And you know that you're going to hit the next station probably soon. There's like, because you can kind of see it a little bit of a ways off. And you see, rolling forward toward the door, is this rail rider creature. He looks kind of, he's got a metal arm with an axe handle instead of a hand. Sort of spiky sort of studs all over him. Kind of wearing leather where he's not. Sort of leather banded. Long hair. Very hollow eyes. And kind of metallic teeth. He runs forward. And you see him come up to the door. And he grins in at you. As his door slowly opens. I'm going to, bring us to break at this point. I'm going to take a quick break. And we shall be back in a little bit to see what is happening. See you momentarily. Welcome to the break. I have Lindy here to talk to us a bit. Hello!
Hello!
Thank you so much for coming and having a little chat with us.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to sort of dig in and find out. You do quite a bit of RPG streaming and what have you nowadays, yes. And I just wanted to find out what started the whole thing. How did you get into tabletop gamery?
So as of now, I'm an addict, but it started. One of my coworkers said, "Hey, do you want to play a D&D game?" And I said, yes, I have wanted to for probably a decade now, but the timing has never worked out. And so we had the same shifts, so we had the same days off, so we were able to make a group. I was hooked instantly, and then when I moved to a different state, I didn't have my group anymore, so I went on to Roll20, joined the first random group I saw, and I'm still playing with them 4 years later. And then at some point I was Twitch streaming video games. It's like, might as well just put the D&D show on there as well, since we're playing anyways. All I'll do is just throw it on OBS. And that's basically what got me started, is me going, might as well try this.
Nice. So what did you start out playing initially? What kind of character?
I started, my first ever character was a half-elf bard named Alora, and it was a very typical bard, but her instrument was the bagpipes, because she was adopted by a dwarven clan. And I loved her. She's very near and dear to my heart.
I think one of the happiest things for me that has come about from the whole being able to play musical instruments in these games thing has been the addition of the bagpipes to the list of available instruments.
Yes, I can't play any musical instruments in real life, so I was like, I'm going to play the bagpipes, the best instrument, as a bard. Also, my DM wouldn't let me have a hurdy-gurdy, so he's like, no, you're not doing a hurdy-gurdy. So I was like, bagpipes? And he's like, fine.
Just the sheer idea. I'm trying to think how that even just as a bard, I guess when you're playing bagpipes, is there
not very stealthy?
It's like because I'm to a certain extent, I seem to recall that when they were used, sort of initially, it was kind of to put fear into the enemy, so I'm just trying to figure out how that
lots
goes
of bagpipes, and she used limericks to dish out her bardic inspiration. So there was much fear had by all.
That's just too good. That's just way too good. But you, I will briefly diverge to mention that I've had like a couple of characters now who ended up with bagpipes, and it was I think there is one that was that I never played. I played as in sort of an off-stream game where he wasn't even a bard. He just happened. I took a background where he had the ability to play a musical instrument. He was a monk, and so I just based him off that. Have you seen that heavy metal bagpiper on YouTube? Yeah, I based him off that guy pretty much. And he just basically went around being as annoying as possible to people and then beating them up. That was essentially
it works. It's very effective.
But so you got into streaming. It sounds like it was more sort of a natural progression from the fact that you'd already been doing video game streaming and you'd already been doing stuff over Roll20. So what were the first sort of streams you remember doing that were RPG-ish?
We were halfway through the very first campaign I was ever GMing. We were halfway through Curse of Strahd, and I said, no one's gonna watch anyways. We don't have to start a new campaign. We'll just pick up halfway in, and if people have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. But people watched it. I was like, this is weird. Why are people watching this? We've got our gunslinger out here seducing every hag in Barovia, and why are people here? But we had a blast. My goal was just to have fun with my friends, and if people hung out and watched and had fun too, that was just a bonus. So that was kind of just how the first campaign happened. And then after that, I was like, okay, maybe I should make an overlay for this. And the second campaign was Out of the Abyss.
Nice. Now I'm actually not as familiar with what's in Out of the Abyss. Curse of Strahd I actually played a little bit of once. But is that what's Out of the Abyss about? If you want to talk about it.
Underdark. You're basically kidnapped and dragged down to the Underdark, and the Abyss kind of ruptures and opens up a bit and starts pouring out into the Underdark, and you're like, oh no, demons! And you have to figure out a way to get the characters invested enough to go back into the Underdark after they escape to slay the demons. In my opinion, not the best module, but I had it. I'd gotten it for Christmas, and so damn it, I was going to run it. And we had fun, but we definitely enjoyed Curse of Strahd more, I think. What approach do you usually take when you start adapting modules for use in your campaigns? Do you just do them point for point, or do you do more of the Cuisinart method? What do you do? So I read through the whole book first. That's at least what I like to do, and then I go, okay, what is my group just not going to buy into? Because I've been playing with the same group for 4 years now, so I'm pretty familiar with what they're gonna hate and what they're gonna love. So I'll go through and I'll take out anything I know they're just not gonna be interested or not gonna like, and I'll tweak things a little bit and be like, oh, well, I think they'd think an aboleth in this lake would be really cool. And just I keep the main overarching stuff, and I keep a lot of the same things, but I really only read through it once and then skim just before session, so it's very improv heavy. Even though we are following the main plot and quest line of the book, there's going to be a lot of stuff in NPCs that may not be in the book or have changed severely from the book. We just have fun, so that's what's important.
Awesome, awesome, excellent. I think we're gonna talk more about the various different shows that you've participated in a little bit in a separate one of these interviews. But in the meantime, if folks want to find your stuff online, where should they go?
Okay, so they can follow me online at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Mostly Twitter and Twitch. I'm behind on YouTube, and I have a feeling I will perpetually be behind on YouTube. But all the past stuff's on there for the most part, so check that out.
Being behind on YouTube is a definite mood. I can definitely identify with that, as are, I'm sure, plenty of the folks who watch this channel. But awesome. Well, folks, thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Farewell. we have returned. And, we're on a train. Yet another train. And there's a rail rider on this train who is now about to come through the door into your train car. Remember, you're not right at the front, you are on the next to the front. The train is still moving forward. It will be at the station soon, but it's not there yet. What would you all like to do?
Something's coming. That thing that was chasing you is coming. We need to move. Next car. Next car.
Run forward. Into the next car. There's enough time for you to get to the next car, as this thing is skating into the car behind you. Shutting the door. You are in the front car of this train.
Mm-hmm.
In this train car, I'm going to do a strange randomization here. There are 4 people in this train car. 4 passengers. They're sort of there chilling. It's like, it's like 10:30 at night or so. They are just seem perfectly mundane. And you've got a compartment ahead of you where probably there is a driver of some kind, I would assume. As you see the city sort of rushing by. So, piled into the front car. The rail rider is in the car behind you. You can see him coming forward.
Is there a way to tie the handle of the door I just closed behind us and basically make it an obstacle that they'll have to get through? Like tie it to one of the chairs, that way it doesn't open properly?
Absolutely. You can try to do that. You just need to grab something to tie it with. What you got?
Well, it is canon that Lila's always wearing a
That's
scarf.
true.
Yeah. That could work. At least for a few moments. How do you feel about losing that scarf to keep us safe for a couple minutes?
Might buy us a few minutes. Sure.
All right.
There's more where
I
this one
take it.
came from.
Pull off the scarf.
Wrap
All right.
Tie
You're now
it
going
up
to see if you...
as tight
All
as
right.
I can.
Well then, the pain is 4. For this for this scarf barrier. I think
I'll use 2 additional madness dice.
Lila can help if you wish. This is your scarf.
Righty.
If you do, then just rolling discipline.
All right. Wow, not bad. Five successes and madness dominance.
Okay.
I got a 6 and a 5 in madness.
I should have held off. Alyssa, did you roll? Oh yeah, there you go. Okay.
There we go.
So that's an additional 2 successes from your discipline dice. So that's 7 successes that you have. I only have 2. This is going to be wildly successful. You said you have 6s in your madness pool?
I have a 6 and a 5 in my
Excellent.
madness pool.
So Katrina and Lila, please each check off a response. This thing's...
I'm gonna go ahead and check life for this one.
What's Lila checking off?
Where is there to run?
Well, if you make it long enough for the train to get into the station, the doors will open.
Better just to continue drawing it away and not get into a fight with it in a car full of people.
Okay, sure.
I mean, they're probably already looking at me weird for
Yeah,
tying
that's
the
fair.
door shut.
Like, huh? All right. You manage an excellent knot. This thing is like, it's throwing itself against the door. It's trying to shatter the glass. It's not having much success cutting at the glass because it's apparently they have trouble with this kind of thing in this larger city. So it is like a type of plexiglass. He's having trouble getting through. He's like, but you do notice the door starting to buckle a little bit. The more it sort of rolls back and rolls forward against the momentum of the train.
And I just back
He's
up.
like, and you see him just sort of there as he's still kind of smiling at all of you. Like he knows he's going to get this door open sooner or later. He just needs to get enough of a gap that he can get his axe through and slice through this scarf. Now, the train slows down. Is pulling into the station. This station is so you've pulled around, so you're getting sort of like around the north end of the loop, assuming that I remember what the loop is, and you will see that you're pulling into this station. It slows down, and the doors are opening to this train.
Honestly, after tying that, I probably walked to the frontmost door and just got prepared to take off as soon as the door opened.
Yeah, you've got adrenaline pumping. You want to flee. You gonna flee?
Yeah.
Dara, you fleeing with them?
Oh yeah.
You dash out onto this platform. This is again a raised platform. You see skyscrapers just out through some of the windows. Well, it's open, right? It's an open air platform, and you can see through the gaps in the platform. There are skyscrapers right next to you. And a few walkways off to your right. There's some stairs off to your left, and as you're bolting out, and you'll notice Dara probably also does not have the same, probably has some adrenaline going, but not nearly as much as Katrina and Lila at this moment. So you do notice that the rail rider notices you know that you're about to jump off the train, and he's getting ready to he's going to roll out through his train door in a split second. You're bolting out onto the platform on the left-hand side. Coming up the stairs is a very plain-looking individual wearing a long coat, flanked by half a dozen faceless workers.
Those are the guys that are after
You see them
Dara.
come out onto the platform, and you see him sort of look, and he's like, "There you are!" And you see them running toward you. Toward the three of you.
Well, this escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Is there a way for me to currently open up my reading of energy to try to see if there is a special door nearby.
Yes, you can try to pull that out. Yeah, I mean that's how you got out of the Mad City in the first place. So yes, absolutely. This will be a so first off, I can't remember how many what the madness threshold for this was, but the things have changed around since then. But trying to read the door energy, you've done this before. I want to say you're going to need to roll at least 3 madness. The pain for finding a door near here is going to be, you're at in the heart of Chicago at this point. It's probably not going to be terrible. So I'm good, but it's actually, here's the thing. Wait, it's not just about finding the door, of course. It's about finding the door in expedient enough a way to start heading there before anyone grabs you. So, let's see. We have, as a reminder to myself, we have a press gang worker, and we have half a dozen faceless press gang workers, and we have a rail rider. We've already established that he has a pain of 4. They are not working together, so that perhaps helps.
But they are converging
nonetheless. I'm going to give this a, so I'm going to give this adjusted, I'm just going to go with the highest of each right now. So we're going to give it a pain of 6. This is going to be a pain of 6.
All right. Well, in addition to the 3 madness that I have to roll, I will add 1 more to that pool.
Gotcha.
Not the best, but not terrible. Got 4 successes.
I have 6. Turns out,
Ouch.
Finally, I have rolled incredibly well. So, what have you got dominating over there?
It looks like exhaustion.
Excellent. Please increase your exhaustion by 1. This is like, oh great, 2 of them. You have a direction. It doesn't feel very close, but it feels as though it's, you know what direction it's in. So I mean, it's relatively close, not very close. I'll put it that way. The closest ping you're getting. You know you're going to need to get into the building that is like right across from where this platform is. You're going to have to leave the platform first.
Are we going to have to move past any
You
of
could
them?
run to the right. There's some walkways that might connect. It looks like they head towards. Yeah, it looks like the walkways are actually those. They're bridges. They go to bridges. You see what I'm saying? There's like a little sort of. There's a little sort of shopping area, and then there's some bridges across to those buildings over there that go across the street.
Well, I just turn to them and say, all right, we need to get that way, and we need to move quick because this is going to get really out of hand really fast. Do y'all have anything that you can do that will make it easier on us?
Gar is like all bewildered, like, no.
Things are running toward you. Faceless creatures on the one side, a rail rider bursting out of his train car on the other.
All right, I'm just gonna start running.
All right.
I'm gonna run to wherever I need to get to be away from them, and then worry about getting to the door. So,
given that I got 6 successes, and so this means so the rail rider is going to try to swing around, sort of toward you, and he's going to swing down with his axe. He's going to come very close to you as the three of you are running into the tunnel. And in so doing, he will take something from you. Possibly cut something off that you're wearing, or possibly he might possibly nick you. What do you think he's going to get as a result? What do you think is going to happen here? Could be an object. It could just be that you're bleeding and moving more slowly. What do we think?
I'm thinking, what objects do I have? And I'm not giving up my guitar. Screw it. I'll just take it as the damage.
All right.
Slash across my arm as it was trying to hit one of the straps to get my instrument. I just kind of pull away at the last second as I'm moving, and instead of slashing the strap, it gets my shoulder. So
your shoulder is now injured. Your arm is not as useful as it was a moment ago. You are bleeding.
What can you do?
And the rail rider is right behind all of you. As the three of you are running across this bridge, well, presumably, you head into the little food court, and then you're gonna, if you wish, you may make a turn across the bridge. Up to you. If you want to go across the bridge or you want to take stairs out, that's a possibility. But you've got a little food court you
If I'm bleeding, then I'm immediately just beelining the quickest way that I can feel towards
fastest is probably going to be across the bridge.
That's the way I would go.
But you also are aware that as you lot, the three of you are sort of so you hang a left, and you're running across this bridge. This sky bridge, basically, so it's got again sort of plexiglass around it as you're running. This thing is going to catch up with you in a moment, and you can tell behind it. You can tell that you've got the press gang also are sort of behind him. Some of them. There are at least 3 of them running after him. You don't know where the others went. But you see, you're coming up toward a set of double doors that have you see sort of a red cross, and you see a sign for a hospital. You're about to enter a hospital.
Okay. I keep going.
Okay. So, you are in the lead. What is our running order here? Who's behind you immediately, and who's behind them?
I think that's up to them.
Dara's probably like right behind Katrina.
Yeah, I think Lila's probably bringing up the rear. And as they... I'm going to make sure the two of them get through the door. And as they get through, I'm going to turn around for a second and just kind of like let out like the shrillest whistle I can in the direction of our pursuers and kind of sustain and amplify it to see if I can disrupt, distract, slow them down.
We're gonna go for
vibrate the wheels off of the rollerblades.
You want to do something that violent, or are you just trying to slow them a little?
I'm mostly just trying to slow them down, buy us a little more time.
You've done something like this multiple times now, so I'm going to say you need at least to roll 2 madness. This is going to be a pain of 5 right now.
Okay.
I have 3 successes, you have 4 successes. And it looks like pain is dominating. That is what it looks like. But I'm going to spend a coin of despair and put a 6 in the madness pool. Lila, please check out for response.
Oh, well, I'm getting violent now.
You're checking off a fight response. Adrenaline surging through you. As...
Those are humanoids. They have eardrums.
Hard to tell with the faceless ones, but maybe. They don't have hair, they're bald. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I don't know if they have ears or not. They must have ears.
Some of them might.
The Rail Rider definitely does. So you let out the shrillest of angry whistles as this thing is rolling toward you, and he slows just a bit as he's starting to try to reach forward with his axe to come down. He's like, and he seems to be fighting with it visibly as he's trying to roll. He's trying to roll faster toward you. He's trying to speed toward you to catch you. But you do manage to stay just ahead of him. You manage to slow him down just a bit, so that you can also follow Katrina and Dara through these doors into this hospital.
Okay.
The 3 of you race into this corridor, a white corridor. Comes into a slightly more open area with a couple of different corridors leading away. There is a reception desk. There are people here. Who are being brought up. There's an elevator here. People are brought up, and they're in sort of at the reception desk. There's a waiting area here. Clock on the wall says 10:40 something. And this is where people check in. See a couple of see some orderlies sort of hanging out bored.
And which direction is that door?
The door is going to be, you're feeling a little more left. It's a little to the left. Probably you need to get at least down about halfway through that hallway. And it's probably going to be in one of these rooms.
Are there any nurses' carts on the way?
Yeah, they're definitely going to be. There's going to be a nurse's cart or two. You will note, I assume you're just running. You're not stopping or anything.
I am just going to go right past them. Yes. But
I have to. It is my duty. As you do so, and they see you running through, you see them say, "Hey!" And you see these orderlies now turning and starting to run. Starting to run after you. As well. Sorry, what were you going to do?
This is fine. I am going to keep running down that hall, and then when one of the carts is right there, I'm going to put it between myself and the orderlies, and then like quickly search through, grab some gauze and tape, grab like a needle and some stitch thread, and just like pocket all of that. Grab a shot of adrenaline from the cart as well and pocket that. And then I'm just going to push the cart towards them so they have to catch it. And then I'm going to turn and keep running.
Okay, so that's a lot of things to do very quickly. As you're hitting this, the nurse's cart is about... You are now less than 50 feet from where you need to be. So you are starting to stop for a second and pull all these things. You see these orderlies starting to try to run up. And on the far end, there's also, someone is called, there's security happening. So you see there's like a cop running into view on the far end. No one here's ticking. I'll say that. But I just want to check in. Dara, are you doing anything right now?
Apparently watching this theft in action, just standing there like, what the? She was following.
I'm injured.
She was following Katrina. And
Katrina
is
injured.
What is happening?
Katrina is aiming at it's. You think she was aiming at? There's one of 3 doors to patients' rooms that this could be that she's aiming for. You're not sure which door she's aiming for, but.
Okay. Is there any way that maybe we could the Dara could try to talk her way out of all this happening, using her whatever that skill is called?
Exhaustion.
Your exhaustion talent?
Yeah.
Who do you want to talk to, I think is the question, because there's a few options. There's a cop, there are a couple of orderlies, there is a rail rider, and who's like at the end of the hallway, coasting toward you, and there are some faceless people behind him, but who would you like to talk to?
Our most immediate threat of getting grabbed and taken away currently is probably the orderlies.
Yeah, they're the closest right now.
Okay. The hospital cop can't actually touch people, or not supposed to, so I'm just gonna let that happen, but I'm gonna say something to the orderlies because they'll stop us from going through the cart. So
what do you want to say to them?
So let's see. So Dara looks at them. How obvious is Katrina's wound?
It's pretty obvious. She just got an axe in the arm.
Okay. So Dara whips around, looks at them, the orderlies, and just kind of, in his very authoritarian tone, says, "What are you doing? I'm Dr. Murphy. I forgot my white coat. I came here with a friend, and we're just gonna patch her up."
All right. So this is going to be a pain of 2. And quick question. This is your exhaustion talent, right? Can you remind us what your exhaustion talent is?
Yes.
Okay.
Deception.
So, is this going to be a... Do you have exhaustion already on you? On your sheet?
One permanent exhaustion?
Do you want this to be a major or a minor use of your talent? Okay.
Minor.
So you do not have to increase your exhaustion before you roll this. And again, you can roll 1d6 madness if you wish.
We will add 1 madness.
Okay. Again, I'm going to be rolling 2 pain.
And a success is 4
Is
or
1,
less?
2, or 3? 3 or less.
1, 2, or 3? Okay. 3 or less. Okay.
And we know you're getting 1 success.
4 successes.
All right. Excellent. You got 4 successes? Okay.
Yes.
Let me go ahead. Does that include your exhaustion die?
Oh. No, I guess that's...
Okay, so the exhaustion... What is your one exhaustion die say on it, just so I'll know? 3. Okay.
3.
No, that actually already is a success, so it doesn't count as an extra, because this is just a minor use.
Okay.
But that was going to be successful regardless of what was on it. I just need to know what's on it. Okay.
Yeah.
I got no successes. Do you have anything... do you have any 6s? Okay.
Nope.
All right, so pain is dominating. You got 4 successes, so it's gonna go well. You have so you say that to the orderlies as they're coming up. They're like, oh, Gripes, okay. As they see it, they just sort of wave to the cop, and the cop's like, and they're like, it's okay, it's okay. Sorry, I didn't recognize you.
It happens.
And so you're able to fend off the orderlies. And Katrina, you're grabbing the last bit of supply, and you see one of the orderlies is turning around. He gets slammed into the wall as the rail rider comes up and is like, and the other orderly seems to notice this guy for the first time. He's like, hey. Doesn't seem to be taken aback by this guy. So he's seeing something. We don't know what he's seeing. And
now that raises an interesting question. If they still see nightmares as the people who they used to be, does that mean last episode I straight up murdered some people?
Who knows? Hard to say, isn't it?
All right.
You've got your supplies.
Cool.
To the door.
Instead of pushing the cart at them, I'm going to drag it back with me towards the door. And just be like, when we get close enough, or if the rail rider gets too close to us, I would basically throw the cart at him to like keep us safe.
Well, he's now fighting a couple of orderlies,
so we can get through the door.
So the rail rider's actually delayed for a moment. You do have faceless workers who are going to be running around them and coming for you, but that's its own problem. But it's going to take them a second. You can get into the room before they arrive.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead, if we can make it into the room. I would like to be the last one in so I can pull that cart right in front of the door and then close the door and lock it behind us with the cart in the way.
Okay. So, Lila, Dara, Katrina indicates the door. The two of you are going through. You are in a patient's room. There is a patient in the room.
Oh.
This patient is kind of slowly, like, is kind of slowly sitting up. And they are, let's see, are they alone right now? There's someone visiting them. There's someone visiting them. You see this, see this girl sort of, this girl who looks like she's, well, actually, it's a girl. See this woman sit up. She's about, you think she's in her maybe early 20s? And she just sort of sits up. There's a man in a coat sort of sitting next to the bed who's apparently been talking to her, and he turns and he looks and he sees the three of you coming in here. On the far wall there is, I will note, there is a doorway. There is a door that should not be there. Green metal door. Actually, no. It is a metal door, but it's not green. It's just sort of rusty looking. With rivets. And
sorry, just passing through. Need to use your bathroom.
And
then go straight to
the man just sort of stands up and is like, "What the hell?" And the girl's just sort of confused, watching the three of you. And you race forward. You open this door. On the other side, you can see what looks like a few blocks, a few low buildings, and beyond it a city street. It looks sort of curved. Beyond that, very tall buildings. Very tall buildings. Have this sort of church-like look to them. The three of you are going to burst through this door into the Mad City. And you realize you're emerging at the base of a clock tower. I need to,
I think this is the door I got.
It looks a lot like it. And you hear there's some commotion in that room that you just passed through, but you can shut this door. And sort of turning around, I need to tell Dara what she's seeing. So, you see that you are in the middle of a roundabout, next to what looks like a clock, a very tall building. You're just sort of starting to get, getting a lot of information at once. It is nighttime still. Lots of billboards here. The buildings look a little weird. A lot of them seem like buildings from different eras stuck next to each other. You've got some buildings that look modern, some buildings look Victorian, some buildings look like they're more sort of Art Deco, 1920s, 1930s. Some buildings look even older. There's this whole block that you're seeing sort of ahead of you on one side. It looks like it's made out of, it's weird because it's like there are skyscrapers, but they're made out of like, they've got flying buttresses, and they're made to look kind of like they're built out of the same kind of stone that cathedrals are made out of. They've got like a lot of stained glass windows, some of them. You see as you are looking ahead, let me see. What do you see? There's the cars that are moving around are all similarly in this roundabout from different eras. You see some modern cars, you see some older cars. There's some horses and carts. There's probably a Model T or two. You'll see, yes, that there are signs. There's a little bit of signage. It's sort of like on the right-hand side, this big block, this church-like block. And you see this big banner over this archway leading into it that says Penitence across it. Off to your left, you see a lot of strange sort of modern building, a lot of radio towers on another block off to the left. Big block. A lot of sort of more sort of modern-ish buildings, but still from a number of different eras. A lot of different sort of more squat buildings, but there's also an archway leading there, and across the archway in neon it says Media. There are like weather balloons floating above it. And you actually look, and up to and across the rooftops of all of these buildings, you see they're kind of interconnected with, I don't know, things, sheet metal, wood, things welded down. There's this whole network of crap across these buildings, across the tops of the buildings. There are people as well here. It's a very busy time in this square. You see people bustling back and forth, people of all ages, people wearing clothes from different eras. You see folks in modern sort of dressed down material, sort of people who might have walked right out of Soho. You see people who look like they just stepped right out of a cafe in the 1940s. People in tuxedos. You see people who look more like beggars. You see people who look almost, you know, damn near medieval beggars. You see also, though, that not all the people look like the kinds of people you would be used to seeing. A number of them do, a number of them don't. You see someone who looks like they're constructed entirely of rubber bands walking down the street. You see lumbering along not too far behind this person, and a person with the head of an elephant? Very big individual. They're like 11, 12 feet tall. Just calmly sort of heading down the street. They're wearing overalls and they're carrying a lunchbox. You see impossibly lean people. You see what looks like sort of a... you see what... You could swear you see a Slender Man in there somewhere. In this gaggle of them. Off to the left, there's this little flock of Nosferatu, just sort of furtively going between the buildings from alley to alley. And behind you, you're just turning and you're looking. You see this clock tower, and you're able to stand just a little bit away from it. And if you didn't know any better, you would say that this clock has 13 numbers on it. It's got like a big 13 at the top in Roman numerals. You have entered the Mad City. And there are a few individuals also. They're a little ways off. This group of fellows coming around the tower, kind of looking around. They're all wearing trench coats. You can't see their faces. They've got hats pulled down. But Katrina has seen these people before, but to Lila, they are very recognizable. The pinheads are out. And they're looking around. They have not spotted you yet. What are we doing?
We should try to blend in. Might be wanted for tax evasion.
Okay.
You want to try to blend in with the crowd? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try to be inconspicuous.
Okay. You're gonna try to lead them into... There are plenty of big clusters of people around. You wanna try to join one of them? Is that what we're doing? Alright. So this is gonna be a pain rating. Currently we have a cluster of pinheads. That are the immediate problem. Not the least of which, you know, there might be people coming through that door in a moment, but if you get lost before then, you've got a moment. Cluster of pinheads. I'm going to give this a pain of 4. And the two of you may help if you wish. It is up to you. If you're helping, you only roll discipline.
I'll help.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. You have 2 successes so far.
I have
One
one
success.
success.
On my 2 dice, I also got 2
Oh, wow.
successes.
Awesome. So you've got 5 successes there. I only got 1. And, Lila, did you only roll discipline?
Yes, I'm trying to be
Ah, of course.
inconspicuous.
Okay. Well, pain's dominating. And there are no other pools for me to take advantage of, so I guess that's another despair coin for me. So this will be mildly painful. How can we make this at least mildly painful? Oh, I know. So as you find yourselves pressed into this crowd, it looks like you've found this sort of cluster of students. They're walking by. They're all wearing school uniforms, but they're all adults. And as you're kind of being carried through this tide of these people, they're just sort of talking with each other, moving through, walking across. There is a gentleman you recognize.
Is there now?
Who will see you, who off to the side, yes, basically, who seems also to be heading toward the re-education district. Luca, you've just noticed Lila and some other folks just starting to be carried away in this tide of students toward the re-education district.
Do they look like they know where they're going, or do they look like they're being, like, swept away? Can I, like, tell at a glance if they look like they're going there by choice?
Yeah, I think that I think it'd be safe to say it looks like they just got here and have no idea what they're doing. To an extent.
Okay. In that case, I guess, Dad instinct comes first, so he would, like, go and grab hold of Lila's arm, maybe a little more roughly than is necessary, but he would grab her arm and pull her out of the crowd. And hopefully this causes a chain reaction where Lila also pulls the other people along with her.
Oh. Hi.
So we're gonna, like, get everybody out of the crowd.
Yeah.
Is this where you're meaning to go?
Yeah. Please, for me, would you describe Luca as a couple of viewers seeing you for the first time?
Okay, Luca is sort of a average, sort of a thin man, shaggy, honey blonde hair, 5 o'clock shadow, sort of scruffy beard, 5'11", just sort of a very friendly looking guy, very, very normal, like dad looking guy. So friendly, blue eyes, just like not the kind of person you would expect to find in the Mad City of all places.
So I sort of gesture the other two to follow me off to wherever Luca is pulling us off to the side.
Just out of the throng that seems to be walking you away here.
Yeah, I will step out with them. Yeah. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Katrina.
Katrina's bleeding.
You are... How is... What?
Trouble?
Are you in trouble right now?
Yeah.
Are you running?
Potentially, yeah.
Okay.
They chased us through the door. They haven't come through it yet.
You know what? You answer later. You come with me now. You come with me now. You answer later. So he'll take them to the church where he lives.
Okay.
Hopefully get them out of the way.
All right. So.
Also, I'm not too unfamiliar with the re-education district. I wouldn't mind seeing Mother Wen sometime in the distant future.
You know what? We deal with that later. Right now, you are bleeding. We deal with that now. And then we answer questions. Because you have questions, I'm sure. I have many questions.
Dara, yeah. When they mentioned the re-education district and you're looking over and you see these very tall, dark, foreboding educational buildings that these students start heading for.
Dara is just like stunned by everything. Is like,
yeah.
She's new.
Yeah.
Apologies to you for being here.
So.
Thanks.
Come.
So, as you're making your way back across, you will note that there are still, you've got this cluster of, you do have this cluster of pinheads that are kind of looking around. That, again, these are, they look like big guys in trench coats and you know, suits, ragged, scrubby-looking suits and ties, and these hats. But there's also something strange the way they move. There's something wrong with them. It's as though it's like maybe the clothes are draped over some kind of big wireframe model. And they're like about like 4 of them right now.
Sure, there's something wrong with them if you compare them to us as a baseline. Yeah. But let's not go insulting their
That's
way
fair.
of life.
That's very fair. That's absolutely right. But and as you're heading over, you will also note that probably from the base of the clock tower, you are going to see what are you going to see? Nope, you know, actually you're not going to see them. They're not going to come out. There's a reason. So right now there's just an issue. It's a pain of 4 to escort everyone back across to the penitence district without being noticed. And I'm presuming Luca's leading this one.
I will add 3 madness dice. Let's try and... Ooh, that's not good, huh?
Okay.
It's not bad.
I am about to roll. Nothing else happened. You got one more success than me. Let's see what we have. So once again, pain dominates. And for an action like this, I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to do anything except take another despair token. Delicious, delicious despair tokens. So you're able to avoid their gaze. However, that will be roughly the point as you are making it back to the Penitence District. There will be a certain degree of alarm behind you. As you look and you see that these 4 pinheads are encountering this rail rider bursting out from the base of the clock tower. He looks a little bloody. He's sort of coming...
Did you come by train?
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
And a very big commotion is happening now. In this,
I picked him up before I got to the train, to be fair.
big commotion is happening in the square. You see one of the, as you're sort of retreating into the Penitence District, you see one of the pinheads has got out some kind of like a walkie-talkie or something. Not sure how they're communicating, they don't have mouths. But, they're a little sort of... You can tell that alarm seems to be... a sort of alarm seems to be being raised. And as you make it back into the Penitence District, just back through the archway, you will note that is when, from District 13, that is when the first... the first wind-up police vehicle emerges. But you have made it into the Penitence District. You're heading toward the church?
Mm-hmm. I know that face. That place is not mad. He's just disappointed.
I was having a good normal day. I was told, hey, Luca, today you might run into an old friend, somebody that has been here before, somebody that you will be excited to see. You know, I think it'd be somebody that I would be looking forward to see, not somebody who has gotten me arrested beforehand. Lila is come può accadere. Quindi devi essere tutti. Non darmi nuovi problemi che sei nuovo così qui sogno. This is... Listen to me. We go, patch up. You tell me exactly why you are here, and then we get you out of here. I have a life here. I cannot be arrested again. I have a good job, okay?
Again?
I have a good life.
But again?
Yeah. I was just say casually, as you're walking by, you will notice that the building that you're walking past right now, as you're heading toward the church, is that there is there's a wanted poster up on it that has Lila's face, among several other wanted posters. But it's Lila's is there more than once.
See, you see this?
Yeah.
She is wanted here.
She's kind of become public enemy #1 at this point.
Shit. What have you done? Why are you back here?
Long story.
Fair enough. Can we get somewhere quick?
Come on,
I'm feeling a little woozy.
He'll usher them into his house, and like he has a double take as Dara walks by. It's like, wait.
I think so. I think as you are entering, you're basically heading up to the church, and you're sort of, Luca, you're issuing them toward the church, which is, it's right there. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to see someone has come by and, You'll see that some of the irregulars have come by to help hang some of the banners. And so, Luca, as you're doing this double take, Dara, you will actually see as they... This kid who looks like a street urchin from like the late 1900s has just hung up this banner. Let me actually... Sorry, let me fix the... I gotta fix something real quick. Sorry, you noticed that they've just hung up this banner. And among other... Yeah, they're hanging up multiple banners with different people's faces on them, looks like. This one has your face. And I think as you're seeing this, that as they're hanging this banner up and you look down the street and you see more banners, you see there's like a... Sort of in one of the distance you see is kind of a billboard that comes on for a moment, and it also has your face. It seems clear that they know you're here. And I think this is the point at which we're going to break for the evening. If we are good with that? All right.
Sounds good.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you all very much for playing this evening. I very much appreciate it. Sorry for the kind of late start, but once again, perfection is never achieved. We can only get as close as we can. It's not quite struck 11 yet, but it probably will sometime soon. And you're in the, you're back in the Penitence District, and many delightful things about it, but most delightful is that it's just when everyone seems to know you before you know them. We're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros, and folks can feel free to tell people where they can find you. Feel free to plug anything you like, and if you have any final thoughts about this session, any favorite bits or what have you, feel free to call those out. We will be going in reverse order, and we will be starting with Alyssa.
Hey everybody, I have been your friendly virtual spinner of yarns and teller of tall tales. You can find me on the internet at Shawl Tales, and I really enjoyed meeting everyone's characters and getting yelled at in Italian by Luca. I was waiting for that all night. Not mad, just disappointed.
A little mad.
Maybe a little bit. That's fair.
I mean, not mad, just disappointed is parent for mad.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Awesome. Did you have anything else you needed to give us, or are we good?
This is the only thing I have going on as far as streams, so same time, same channel.
Righto. All right. So therefore, we shall now head over to Hannah.
Howdy. I'm Hannah. You can find me at Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation Studios, everywhere else. And you can find me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern over on Wandering DM's channel for some Scion, Birth of the New Gods, where I play Kieran Kearney, son of Loki. Lovable, has never told a lie in his life, adorable, all the good things. And then on Wednesdays, you can find me over on High Shelf Gaming for some Cyberpunk Ascension, fun horror cyberpunk campaign. Other than that, I'm here, I'm around, I'm inevitable, and I very much enjoyed playing with you guys tonight, and the really intense chase scene on the train and getting there and getting off and all the good things, all the new people seeing what they're getting into or getting into it again in certain cases. So
awesome. The sudden torrent of Italian was wonderful. I loved that so much.
I was so looking forward to that. I'm like, Lila, come here. Like,
it's so good. Oh, so good. And now we will head over to Mem.
Hi, I'm Mem. I'm just here right now, but I guess you can find me on Twitch sometime. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I forgot what I was supposed to say.
Here's a good place to be.
You can find me on Twitter. I have a Twitch, but I haven't streamed in several years, so there's that. I had a good time tonight. I was just like, what would Dara do? And it's like, just be real confused. Just everything's happening. There's stuff. There's faces. There's yelling in Italian. We're just not sure of what to make of anything. And she's just like, okay, we're going to take in our surroundings and then we'll figure it out. But there's a lot of stuff to figure out.
Awesome. Thank you for thank you for being so kind and patient with all of this madness.
I love the madness. What do you mean?
Excellent. Awesome. And finally over to Krimsin.
Hey y'all, I'm Crimson Galaxy. That's Krimsin, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. You can find me on Twitter at sin_gal. You can find me on Instagram at crimson_galaxy_RPG. This episode was really fun. Honestly, meeting everybody. Honestly, Luca, I like your shit. Like, let me just say that. As for the games you can find me in coming up in this next week or so, actually, next time we meet, I'll be able to announce something because session 0 is tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, you can find me playing some Things from the Flood over on Party White Games at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And that's just a really fun little game, y'all. Like, it's super good. On Thursday, you can catch me over on So Matty Games playing some Call of Cthulhu at 5 p.m. And then on Friday, before I come back here next week, I also have a Monster of the Week game that's based on the 13 Ghosts movies over on Cybernation Uncensored at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then I'll meet y'all back here at 5.
Excellent. Awesome. I loved when you just rated that nurse's card. It was a delight.
Hey, I need to get shit to fix myself up.
I foresee a Pulp Fiction like sequence sometime in the future with you grabbing that adrenaline shot. It's gonna happen.
The only reason I grabbed that adrenaline shot is because that exhaustion dominating kicked my permanent exhaustion right now up to 4. And that might be a problem unless we start getting some hopes in. And I just figure if I get like a drug to inject into myself that will wake me back up, that might be useful.
Yep, that'll do it.
Thinking.
Excellent. All right. Well then, who am I and what am I doing? Oh yes, that's right. I was going to reveal something. One of the randomizers I've been using, by the way, and I'll get into, we need not get into huge detail here, is that I have been crossing the streams a little bit. I've been using the Sooth deck from Invisible Sun to look at a few things, and this evening's strange encounter was inspired by the Blind Guardian,
Okay.
who you got to chat with in that strange hallway for a bit. So just pulling from this from time to time for things like this. Okay, so who am I? Well, this evening I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other audio thingies, writings, and such. Down below, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. On this channel on Monday, we have the other group, the Monday night group, for Don't Rest Your Head. They're going to be starting their narrative. We had our world building session last week, and now we're going to kick things off, and they're at a wedding reception. I can't wait. I definitely want to see what it is that they've got going on, and what happens when the reception happens. That's all we've got currently happening, but in a couple of weeks, on Tuesday nights, we're going to be having a new short campaign of Electric Bastion Land run by Sarah. So we're getting things lined up for that, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go treasure hunting, and so very much looking forward to that as well. So, in the meantime, we're going to go say hi to someone. Let's see, right now, Q Times looks like they're doing something interesting. We'll see if we can raid them. If not, we'll try somebody else. But we're going to go say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.
I really like Q Times content.
Cool, awesome. We're gonna try to take a look at it. Take care, folks.